Daviess County Animal Shelter was built in the 1950s, but the current animal shelter was built in 2004. The shelter is an open admission shelter, which means that animals will be euthanized if the shelter runs out of space for the animals or if an animal is unadoptable. When the need for euthanasia arises, the shelter will euthanize the sick animals before euthanizing the healthy ones. When new animals are brought in, they are put in designated areas. Healthy cats are put in rooms where they have food, water, and lots of beds and toys. Cats that are unhealthy must be put in separate cages so they can be brought to health. When dogs are brought in, they are usually put in separate cages, but sometimes when dogs are brought in together or they get along well, they'll be put in the same cage. Each cage has food, water, and beds. When it's cold, they also have blankets. Each kennel has outdoor access, and when the weather is nice, workers and volunteers take dogs outside to run around and play. There's also a separate room for dogs that need special care, so they can be watched more closely and brought to health more efficiently. Though dogs and cats are the most common animals taken in by the shelter also takes in animals like rabbits, guinea pigs, mice, birds, farm animals, reptiles, and amphibians. Why do you think that the animal shelter should be memorialized?
We have a new director. Since she has taken over, our euthanasia rate has decreased from roughly 90%. Dogs is less than 1%. Cats is down to about 14%. It's unbelievable that an open admission shelter would do that, especially taking it from 2 counties. We have 32 kennels on B side, 14 on A side. For dogs, that's it. And we take in 4,500 a year. And to only euthanize less than 1%, I think 26 dogs is what we put down last year. Some of those were due to illness. Some were severe aggression, some were court ordered. On top of that, we had dogs that had been here for 10 and 12 months that we were required to host for court case that took up kennels. We're still able to do that, so it's really
The number one reason that the animal shelter deserves to be memorialized is because of the dramatic decrease in the euthanasia rate. But the factor that has the most important impact on that is that the shelter will not allow animals to be adopted until they've been spayed or neutered. That causes a lower intake rate, which results in a lower euthanasia rate. Also, the shelter will do everything it possibly can to take care of animals that are sick or hurt. For example, Lad is a dog that was found on River Road 3 days after being shot in the jaw 6 times. The animal shelter took him in and did everything they could to keep him comfortable and bring him to health. The shelter informed the public of Lad's case, and they got donations so he could have surgery done on his jaw. But that is only one of the many examples that the shelter has taken in an animal that needs special care. Every animal that is brought into the animal shelter is vaccinated immediately, but the cost of the vaccinations and all other medicines necessary to care for the unhealthy animals is expensive. The shelter occasionally gets grants for the vaccinations and medicines, but usually a lot of budgeting must be done in order to obtain all the necessary items. The reason the shelter deserves to be memorialized is because of all the care that is given to the animals when someone is interested in adopting an animal. Anyone who is interested must fill out an adoption application. The application asks about the background information of the applicant, the applicant's living situation, the applicant's plans for their future pet, and more. But the application is also taken for 7 days so it can be reviewed and there can be background checks done on the applicant to ensure that they are eligible to take home a pet. Those are only a few of the reasons why the animal shelter deserves to be memorialized. But that alone is enough to prove that the animal shelter deserves it.